Is Sex and Relationships Wednesday, as always, and tonight we're trying to answer the question, what do women really want from men? And here's the deal, guys. This show tonight is on you. Where this show goes is going to be completely dependent on the questions you ask us, and we are going to take any question you have. We're taking calls, and here to help me to make sure that we can really go across all the territory, I've got a powerhouse team here to join me. My Loveline co-hosts, Simone Bienne and Michael Catherwood.
Yeah.
Simone, where should we go with this conversation? I'm going to go to calls fast, but what do you think this is going to be about tonight?
I think that women will say they want men to lie to them more. And
Lie to them more?
Yes. So when we ask, does my bum look big in this? You will say, of course not, darling. When we ask you to come out for a romantic dinner, you will say, oh, that's so romantic. I would love to do that. And you won't be thinking in your head, oh, if I do that, it means we're going to have sex tonight.
Oh, you
You're
won't be
gonna
thinking
do
that?
it
Mike, you won't be thinking that?
because
No.
you want to do it.
Sure, of course they won't.
There we go.
Yeah.
Lying.
All right,
Wonderful.
let's go to calls. Let's talk to Betty. Again, our number is 855-373-7395. That's 855-Dr. Drew 5. Betty, go right ahead.
Hi, Dr. Drew.
Hi, Betty.
I'm Betty from West Hollywood, California.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Right around the corner here.
Yep. So my question is, I'm kind of in a relationship with a gentleman, and it's sort of a friends with benefits situation.
Right.
And so he does say he loves me, but not enough to possibly be in a relationship with. However, we hang out at the same bar, and when he sees me talking to another guy, let's say, he will come around and he'll make it be known that I'm kind of his and the guy that I'm potentially talking to.
All right, Betty, you're getting lost in the confusion of the male psyche. You're getting deeply lost in it. Let me tell you that, hang on, I'm gonna have Mike ring in on this in just a second, but the number one thing is just because he's sleeping with you does not mean he loves you. Please don't ever confuse those things. Men can divorce those two phenomenon and do commonly. By the same token, just because he wants possession of you, he has his male ego, does not mean anything more than he has some very primitive kind of need to mark his territory. Mike, you agree with me on this?
Well, yeah, I mean, Betty, you're kind of like the parent that's taking your kid and setting him aside and say, my kid really listens to me. He says he doesn't want to eat all the candy he wants to, but he does. Then he says he doesn't want to have cake for breakfast. I mean, but he does. You got to understand, he says he loves you, and he doesn't love you enough to be in a relationship. Oh, he'll have sex with you, though, as much as you want. I mean, whenever you're ready for that. He doesn't mind you dating other people, but you guys hang out at the same bar. Shocking that you guys frequent bars, by the way. You hang out at the same bar, and when you talk to another guy, what happens? He gets super jealous. So you're allowing him to have his pie and eat it too.
So, oh my God, Mike. So, Simone, just give Betty a little closing comment how she can move on.
You need to set boundaries, Betty. Absolutely. Set your boundaries and say, you know what, this isn't working for me. Because sometimes when you show him that he can't have his cake and eat it.
There's pie, he said, I believe.
I know, but there's a double entendre there,
yes,
I'm
we
thinking.
know. Well, thank you, Simone. Well done, Simone. Thank you for that.
Come on, gentlemen.
Welcome to America.
Betty, for you, when you say that you have your cake and eat it, don't let him get away with that. Have self-respect and just watch how he might come running.
There you go. Kyle in Michigan. Kyle, what do you got for me? Kyle?
Dr. Drew, I was just going to ask if it's all right to have three ways in a marriage.
In a marriage. Let me just, we'll each ring in on this one, and I will just say that I've never seen it work out long term. When the primary intimacy is diminished by bringing in another person, it decays the primary intimacy. Now, two sex addicts acting out, two alcoholics doing their thing, it can be fun for a while, but it will end in disaster. Simone, do you agree?
I completely agree with you, Dr. Drew. And what's really interesting is couples think, oh, after long term together, you know, how do we spice up our sex life? That isn't the way, because it just destroys it, because you cannot get that picture out of your mind. And that is both men and women. So I would say don't do it. Try and add some role play into your relationship. Women love that, and actually new research has shown that women love it, especially once they're married, because they do feel safe already. So share some fantasies and see where that takes you.
And Mike, finally, your comment?
Well, I understand your desire to want a threesome.
Hold on a second. You as a young male that wants to have a threesome? I don't
Sure, I
understand
mean,
it.
exactly. On paper, it sounds fantastic, but in the end, It's only going to decay intimacy, not develop it.
It's like communism. It looks great on paper, but when you're talking about human beings, it ain't working so good in real life. Sasha in Illinois. Sasha, what do you have for me?
Hi, Drew. This is Sasha from Chicago.
Hey there.
What I wanted to mention is women, what we're looking for in a man is just honesty. Be honest in what it is that you're looking for from that woman. If you're looking for just a friend, be honest with that woman. If you aren't looking for a wife, don't mislead her into thinking that you're ready for marriage.
I want Mike, because you opened, Simone, by telling us to lie, but I think she's talking about something different. She's saying, let your intentions be known up front. But Mike, if you let your intentions be known up front, what happens?
You're going to be single forever.
Not even single, but alone.
I mean, it's like going into a job interview. Think of it that way. You're not going to go in and say, well, I dropped out of high school because I'm a terrible student. I don't really have any skill set at all, and I'm a reprehensible person. You're going to want to lie up. And the same thing goes when you first meet a lady. You want to make yourself seem appealing, even if you're not. You can't fault a guy for, fudging a little bit when you first meet him. However,
I agree with Sasha. Are you still there, Sasha?
I am.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you that men later in life, it wears on their soul when they have used.
And there are differences between big lies and little lies. If it's like, I'm not really interested in anything too serious, then that's being straight up. And I think that would be okay, wouldn't it? But if it's, saying, I'm looking for a wife, and actually you're just looking for someone to, do some horizontal folk dancing with, you don't want to
What I tell young men when I talk to them about that, I say, you don't want to be that guy. That's not who they want to be when they really stop thinking about it. Thanks, Sasha. We're going to keep this conversation going. So call us at 855 Dr. Drew 5, and we'll be right back in just a second.
Dr. Drew, brought to you by Nook Simple Touch with Glow Light. Find your Nook at Barnes & Noble. Do you read in bed? Do you read out loud or in your head? Do you need a lamp to see? And does it leave your bedmate be? Don't you wish there was a light that wouldn't keep them up all night? If so, you'll be happy to know our newest Nook now comes with Glow. Introducing Nook Simple Touch with Glow Light, the only e-reader made for bedtime reading. Find your Nook at your neighborhood Barnes & Noble.
Fast. That's the kind of relief my sore muscles need. So I keep this close. Salonpas Jet Spray. It has one medicine to quickly freeze pain and another to keep it away. Salonpas. Powerful relief when and where you need it.
There's a lot of buzz about omega-3s and a heart-healthier diet. Try Smart Balance Omega-3 fat-free milk and buttery spreads. Together, they provide all 3 essential omega-3s, including EPA and DHA.
HLN's Evening Express, tomorrow, 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern.
On the red carpet, it's not about the dress. It's about the shoes, honey.
The 39th Annual Daytime Emmy Awards are coming to HLN, live Saturday night, June 23rd.
So let me get this straight. You're telling me that this car is just as reliable as a Honda Accord next door?
Well, pretty much. It has a super long warranty. That's not the same thing. Sure it is. If anything breaks, you can rely on the warranty. So it's reliable.
So it's the warranty that's reliable, not necessarily the car.
Were you this tough on the Honda dealer? I feel like you weren't.
The Accord from Honda. Named most trusted brand in America by KBB.com. Only a Honda is a Honda.
Transformers: The Ride. Ride it at Universal Studios Hollywood.
Welcome back to what we call Sex and Relationships Wednesday. I'm joined by my co-hosts from Loveline, Simone Bienne and Michael Catherwood. And listen, guys, we are going to go anywhere tonight, so I suggest you bring your calls about sex and relationships and really anywhere you want to go, things you've been afraid to ask. This little team has been doing this for a while, and we're pretty good at answering these things. So your wildest stuff, your most difficult material, we want it tonight. Back to your calls. Carol in Washington, what do you got for me?
Hi, Dr. Drew.
Hi, Carol.
I do want to know why people have it all backwards, where you're supposed to have sex and then figure out if you're going to have a relationship or not. And then the ones that want to have one after the sex crave it, and the ones that don't ruin it, and so everybody gets so confused. So I don't know.
Right. It's a great question. And what they say is, men want a relationship so they can have sex, and women want to have sex so they have a relationship. Yeah. And everyone's all screwed up in their priorities. Simone, how would you answer this question?
I think it's really important to know exactly what you want from the off-start. And I recommend to women, if they do want a relationship, don't have sex, because straight away you get too attached to somebody, hormones that you release, you bond, you don't even know whether you like them. And that is a problem actually for women, because women actually find themselves being attracted to somebody who they wouldn't necessarily be attracted. So I say have a 10-date rule, but then I'm old-fashioned. Mike would say something completely different.
No, actually, I think that's great advice. But personally, I don't understand why you're so concerned. I think that even if people's intentions to go in a certain direction are different, as long as they end up in the same place. Like, if a guy is in a relationship to get sex but happens to develop intimacy, and a woman's in a relationship for intimacy and sex comes out of it,
but
Mike, there's that Venn diagram where everything
but Mike, it rarely goes that way. That's why we're having these conversations.
But that's the part of development, finding who's right.
You're right. Let's go to Simone is right, though. Keep your priorities in mind and be clear what you're trying to do, and don't be so busy trying to make everybody else happy. Marcy in Texas, what do you got?
Hi, Drew. Listen, this is my question. Why do men always think that they have to solve everything? I mean, women give you a question. They say, look, let me talk to you about this, tell you what's going on. And men just want to offer a solution and fix it. Why can't they just listen, and then they would know exactly what we want?
Well, no, we wouldn't. That's part of the problem, because you just want us to listen, and that's a very hard job for us. Mike, she just wants you to listen.
Yeah, the point of asking people questions is to find an answer. So if you don't want one, then don't ask me anything. That'd be better.
Our crew is saying, that's right. That's what I'm talking about. It's very hard for men. If you come up with a problem, Simone, I know you're going to ring in on this, but if you come up with a problem, Marcy, and your husband cares about you, your boyfriend, whoever he is, and he wants to help you, of course, solve your problem because you're upset, he's immediately going to go to solution, and that will make you angry.
Now, interestingly, Marcy, it's the same when men have sex and receive pleasure. They find it very difficult to be passive. So you can train your man,
Well, if we knew this was the deal, someone's got to teach men how different our brain mechanisms are, that women get their motivational priority is to talk about their feelings, and they would like the male just to sit and listen to it, and that's support, not solving the problem, just listening.
Now, here's a takeaway for everyone watching at home. What you can do is actually do it with a wooden spoon and say, when I'm talking, no solution, just listen, and then pass the wooden spoon when you're ready for the solution, even if you pass the wooden spoon a day later.
This bothers me.
I recommend taping a Victoria's Secret catalog to your forehead when you're talking to your man, and he'll just be there silently listening. It'll work.
All right, then. Thank you. Let's go to Stacy in Arizona. Stacy, what do you got?
Drew, I have been with my fiancé for 3 years, and we now have a daughter together, and he has emotionally stepped out of the relationship, and I'm having a very hard time trusting and forgiving him. I was just wondering if I should stay or go.
Oh, Stacy, you're asking a really difficult. First of all, we're not going to make that decision for you. I don't know what you mean by emotionally stepped out of the relationship. Is he like online cheating, or is he actually seeing somebody else, or is he just checked out generally?
He has been talking to another girl that he actually went to school with.
All right, here's the deal, and Simone, you back me up on this. You have a child here. It's time to get serious about this. You don't let your relationship just fall apart, because you've got to keep something together on behalf of that kid. That kid, you two mean everything to that child. I say you get professional help if you possibly can. You said you've both been involved with school. Can you go back to the health services there? Somehow get a professional in the room with you, because you have to give this relationship a chance, because clearly he's cheating. Don't you agree?
Absolutely. The best way to do this is to go and get professional help, exactly like Dr. Drew said. And interestingly, when men cheat, it doesn't mean that they don't love their wives. It could be because there's some kind of pressure that he's acting out emotions that he's not able to say. So get in the therapist chair.
Quickly, Helen in Washington. Helen, you got something for me?
Yes. Hi, Dr. Drew. I think you're so handsome.
You're very.
But my question is,
Mike and I are going to, well, I won't go there. But go ahead, Helen, I'm sorry.
But my question is, I'm in a long-distance relationship, and it's like the communication is not there. So what do you think?
How old are you?
I'm 47.
And how old is he?
He's 51.
What do you think, Simone?
I'm really all for long-distance relationships because I think nowadays when you have,
they're drifting. You know, I was just going to say, I'm with you on that, but I would say when they drift, it's because when it's long distance, somebody's got something going on.
Yeah.
That's my instinct, especially when it's the guy. Don't you think, Mike?
I mean, with technology nowadays, though, long-distance relationships really can work out. You can use things like Skype. But I do recommend farming out some, like, 25-year-old genitals, being that you're 47 and 51.
Oh, Mike,
Maybe I'm just thinking, rent
dude.
something nice,
dude.
a nice snapshot of a 25-year-old young lady.
I got to go to break. More of your calls about sex and relationships, and later, a woman creates a fake online dating profile. She gets some crazy responses. She is with me live and taking your calls. A member from the Real Housewives of Orange County. They'll be here in just a minute, too. 855-Dr. Drew 5.